Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here, and oh boy is this one gonna piss you off. Did they finally decide that the One Ring and Orcish Bowmasters are too powerful, and decide to do something about it? Yes, but not in any format that anybody plays or cares about. So for the 10 people still playing Alchemy, they decided to quote-unquote rebalance those two cards. So here's the old version of Orcish Bowmasters. It's a 2-cost black 1/1 flash, and when it enters the battlefield, and whenever an opponent draws a card except the first one that they draw in each of their draw steps, it deals 1 damage to any target and then amass Orcs 1. Well, let's jump on over to Alchemy, where it's the exact same thing, except without the enters the battlefield effect. That's right, you still get the ongoing triggers, but without ETB. So in hyper fast, stupid, splashy, I'm gonna win on turn 4 anyway formats, which I wouldn't really describe anything on Arena that way, but then again, I win on turn 3 with my standard constructed deck, so who knows? I don't play Alchemy. You can just completely shut down somebody's glass cannon and then set up yours. And the One Ring, the number 1 most wanted to be banned card in multiple formats right now in the entire community. It's a 4-drop, indestructible, and when the One Ring enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn. Surprised I didn't give it flash. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each burden counter on the One Ring, and then you can tap it for free and put a burden counter on it, then draw a card for each burden counter on it. Lose a life and draw a card in multiple stacks at your option for free in any color. But you just take this thing and like put it on the top of the Shadow Spear, and we've got the ultimate weapon. We don't even need the Immortal Sun. Here's the new Alchemy Rebalanced Edition. Can you spot the difference? You now have to pay 1 mana, which really ain't gonna slow this down all that much. I mean, okay, you might be able to cheat this out early, but otherwise you've got 4 mana tied up to put this down and effectively do next to nothing. I mean, you cast it on your own turn, probably. And then you start drawing cards while losing the game. Like, you just gave up your whole turn. Unfortunately, this is in basically every single commander deck. Because at 40 life, who cares? 4 mana, not a problem. So if you're not getting why people might be a little bit angry, the big let's fix everything ban announcement, if you can even call it that, back in August, that everybody was waiting for since like May when they announced that it would happen. They banned, I believe, absolutely nothing, and then unbanned, I want to say preordain. Yeah, they didn't do anything. They didn't ban anything. They didn't fix anything. So the reason is because they were still going to sell a product this Christmas season with the One Ring. And it's like $30-$40. So they're not going to ban it before it's done selling. They're going to ban it after it's done selling. Don't get me wrong. That is almost a sure thing. But now in Alchemy, they're like, it's too powerful. We're going to rebalance it. And remember, Alchemy rotated when Standard was supposed to. Do Alchemy card changes still affect Brawl? I'm actually asking you. I don't remember. They waffled on that a couple times. You know what? Who cares? According to their own graph, literally nobody plays Arena. Figuratively, literally nobody. So what else is there left to do other than read their little blurb about it? Orcish Bowmasters in the One Ring have been some of the strongest and most played cards in Alchemy and Historic since the Lord of the Rings Tales of the Middle-earth, whatever, we'll go with that, was released. After letting the formats adjust to this release, we are rebalancing Orcish Bowmasters and the One Ring. Orcish Bowmasters has no opportunity cost to be included in every black deck, and as a result, its Enter the Battlefield ability was pushing 1 toughness creatures out of Alchemy and Historic. Oh, boo-hoo. We want to maintain the card's role as a counter to card drawing, so we are removing its Enter the Battlefield effect to reduce its warping impact on the metagame. Unfortunately, they seem to have a different opinion, just kidding, they're well aware of it, of what it's doing to every other format, especially in paper, or like stuff that people actually play. The One Ring was too efficient at effectively winning the game with its sheer amount of card advantage. That's not true, it doesn't win the game by itself, it just lets your deck outdraw them 2-1. For free, just about. I mean, you're losing life left and right, but in any kind of deck that can gain life or just doesn't care, yeah. Free cards, I'm outdrawing you 2-1. You put this in control deck, it's way too much. Put this in a life gain deck, you just won. So they just said, we are adding a mana to the activated ability to give players more time to execute their own strategy or interact with the One Ring before it takes over the game. Okay, I can't believe they actually got that past the editors. Yes, by WOTC's own words, guys, it's still going to take over the game, but you now have a little tiny bit more time to execute a different strategy and win first. These are obviously an attrition decks. You gotta be kidding me. This ain't a no red rush deck. Come on. Making it cost 1 is next to nothing, but if you have to use 1/4 of your mana, we'll just say, every turn just to do it, then you have less mana to cast the cards that you're drawing. So like, okay. It'll slow you down a bit. I mean, in a treasure deck it won't, but you're narrowing it down. I mean, you basically, this might as well say blow up 1 land. Now remember, the ability is at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each burden counter on it. The end, you don't then draw a card. You have to pay to draw the card. Well, first you put a burden counter on it, then you draw a card for each burden counter on it. So you're still 1 ahead of the life loss, but then you're down a mana. It's not much, but it's a little bit. And I love how they say interact with it. First word on the card, indestructible. So good luck with that. Ah, yes, that defensive artifact sacking deck card thing. Yep. Guess you're exiling it. Guess you're gaining control of it. There's nothing that could stop this stupid card. They should just get rid of it. So if you could drop it in and tap it for free, which why would you not? And by the way, my solution to this was just have it enter the battlefield tapped, obviously. You would then immediately put a burden counter on it, lose 0 life, draw a card. Then during your next upkeep, you get pinged for 1, and then for free, like on the next turn, you would then draw 2 cards. So you're drawing 3 cards for 4 mana and 1 life. And then you just win. It's really simple. You've got more cards than them, it's over. So now, add to that, -1 mana, or lose an entire turn because you only have 4 mana, not 5. And now you're an entire turn behind. And you wasted your whole turn doing just this. It's a big step back. I don't think it's big enough, but yeah, they really just shouldn't have printed this. I don't think they went far enough, and I think Alchemy's going to tweak it again if they have the balls to admit that they didn't go far enough, which I think at this point they have no shame. They're just like, all of our money comes from Arena. Can we just fix this damn thing? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was never standard legal, and I think that's true even in Alchemy, because this was from a side set. So it's an Alchemy card, but it only affects maybe Brawl. I think that's actually wrong. And Historic, but I thought they split off Historic. They said tweaks to cards don't affect Historic. So what is this even legal in? What did they even do? Let me answer my own question. They pissed off the community and did nothing simultaneously. Amazing. Round of applause for WOTC. Once again, knocking it out of the park. Thanks for watching, everybody. What more is there to say? And I'll see you next time.